If you called and told me about a wrestling company with Edge, Bryan Danielson, MJF, Chris Jericho, Swerve Strickland, Sasha Banks, Kenny Omega, Will Ospreay, Sting, and Okada would go from stuffing basketball arenas with fans to barely filling them up a quarter and lose half their audience in the process, I would have said, who is this? And what you wearing? I love AEW, and I've been watching from the beginning. The in-ring action, slams, flips, motherfuckers going through sheets of glass, lighting a guy on fucking fire. It has been a chaotic, fun thrill ride that, when at its best, has created some of the greatest moments in wrestling history that you can't stop watching. But why you can stop watching is because of the bad story. For example, let me introduce you to a man that was primed to be the next Goldberg and Batista of AEW, Wardlow. For those unfamiliar, Wardlow is as strong as an army tank, but also as athletic as Jeff Hardy. On the mic, he's super solid and carries himself as a top G. If a guy like this is on your show, how could he possibly have a bad story? Let me explain. Wardlow started out as a bodyguard for the most evil guy in the company, MJF. But after 2 years of putting up with his BS, he decided to utterly eviscerate him. So bad that he left the company for half a year afterwards. God damn! A good guy now. So what do you do to have him follow up on this newfound freedom and crowd support? You have him beat up a bunch of pointless security guards, then have him lose to a bunch of guys for a few months, then take him off TV entirely for 7 months, only to bring him back with a lame group and make him a bodyguard again, but this time for a guy in a wheelchair, and have him disappear off TV for another 6 months. What the fuck? Why would someone with so much upside be clowned and put in these types of storylines Vince McMahon would give to someone who sneezed in front of him? Who knows? Maybe he's secretly a bad dude backstage. Which kind of goes into my next point. In AEW, sometimes you don't know who is a bad guy or a good guy. Like their former world champion, Swerve. Swerve is the man that got all the good guys together to fight the evil bosses and won. Swerve is a good guy, right? Wrong. Swerve then said he was going to cripple and retire Bryan Danielson in front of his wife and kids in their next match. Swerve is a bad guy. Wrong again, dumbass. Now he's showing us pictures of his family and said that he's buying the house he got evicted from when he was a kid. Swerve don't know how to drive. And the crazy part is, it all happened in about a month. But he's just one example. AEW loves to flip-flop their people from going good to bad with no storyline. And with that much back and forth so often, it's hard for fans to figure out if they should be screaming for this guy or booing him out of the building, which makes it even more hilarious when the wrestlers talk to them. But one of the absolute worst things that AEW does to itself is the never-ending barrage of putting unknown guys in random matches with no story on TV. They do this to a lot of their young guys and new signings, and it makes it impossible for anyone to care about them as a character, because why should they? And it's a shame, because the new guys start off showcasing what they can do, but with no story beats to carry them to that next level, they eventually just drop off the face of the earth. Hopefully AEW changes this soon, because guys like Kyle Fletcher are doing some incredibly innovative moves and could really be the next big thing in the company. But when he's doing cool moves on a guy, no context or story, I always get the feeling that something's missing, or worse, ask, why am I watching this? And Kyle has been putting on a lot of great matches recently, but still doesn't have a long-term storyline to justify why he's fighting these people. It just doesn't make for good TV.
What should happen between every beat that you've written down is either the word therefore or but. Come up with an idea and it's like, okay, this happens, right? And then this happens. No. It should be this happens and therefore this happens. But this happens, therefore this happens.
You're just watching, it's like this happened, and then this happens, and then this happens. That's when you're just going, what the f am I watching this movie for?
Now I know I spent a lot of time sounding like I hate AEW, but I don't. All of this comes from a place of growth. I want to see them be the very best they can be. Plus, there is hope at the end of the tunnel. With a roster like this and coming off of 2 phenomenal pay-per-views, the sky is the limit for them. They still have time for a comeback, and it'll only take one man to make that happen.